I remember she used to look at my accounts and she used to say, like, why do you save so much? Like, why are you always investing so much? And why are you always putting so much money away? And I said, well, because I want to make sure that everything's always okay, right? I could buy Ferraris, I could go buy bigger homes, I could go buy, more flashier clothes. I said, but I'm interested in the long game. I'm interested in financial security for my family. Like, I want to make sure that we are solid. I'm kind of curious, what was your childhood like? I mean, like, what did your parents do, and what was their story? And because I mean, obviously they raised a pretty good kid, and you seem like you've been highly motivated for a long, long time. Like, did your parents give some of that to you, or where'd that come from, man?
So my mom did work, but once she had, us, she stayed at home mom for about 15 years and then got a job, after we were all raised and off in high school and that kind of stuff. So I think that has a big role in all of kind of how we grew up, is that if you are a mom, if you're a parent and you have the luxury of staying home with your kids, because you can have a breadwinner of a partner, then I think it's worth you raising your own kids. That's just, again, my opinion. And then my dad owns a construction company. He was working like a dog, always the best work ethic that I've ever seen in a man, and provided for his family. So I think I was raised by a very strong woman with good family values, and also raised by a man with great work ethic that also, cared for his family.
So it was a good solid upbringing, man. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, but it's a good example of what is created when you have that type of, family, right? I mean, if you're, mom and dad taking care of their kids well, and bringing them up in a good solid environment of work ethic. And it's not like your dad was this victim mentality guy, and I got to sit home and take money off the system. And I mean, there's so many people these days. I mean, I think that kind of the climate in the world right now is let's mooch off the system as much as we can. Let's get the government to pay for everything for us. Everybody wants free college, everybody wants free healthcare, everybody wants free, more minimum wage, everybody wants everything's free or more from the government for them to do as least as humanly possible. And I think that that's the parents that are doing that, they don't realize it, but they're literally creating another generation of that. And your parents are a perfect example of what you create. Because look, let's be honest, man. I mean, you work incredibly hard. I know you do, because I know what you do, and it's not easy. Yes, it's better than laying brick, like you said, man. I mean, my father was in construction as well. He's a contractor. So I have two fathers. One worked more in corporate, and then one was a construction worker. But I used to go to work with them, man, when I was young, and we used to put on
Fun.
baseboards and do all kinds of shit, man. I mean, I'm sure your dad had you work with him too for some period of time, and or maybe from time to time. But I remember, man, sweating, and I remember not liking that. And I always told myself, man, there ain't no way that I'm going to be in this kind of work. I'm going to go do something with my brain, do something with my voice. I'm going to do something where I can be in somewhere where it's air conditioning. That was what I wanted to do. But do you kind of see that though, that culture right now, young people, I don't know where they're getting it from, but they're just wanting everything free, man.
Yeah, and it's never free. The government may give it to you, but you're paying in one way or the other. And the more power that they have, the more strings attached to you as a puppet that they have as well. So it's never really free. It seems like it, but you're paying one way or the other. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the instant gratification of Instagram and seeing all these kids make 10K a month and 5K and all these quick wins. I feel like everyone's just out there for the quick grab, and no one wants to build a legacy. No one wants to, build something from the ground up that's really good at the foundation and changing lives. I feel like if you're out there and listening to this, don't go after the quick money, because the quick money is going to go away. Build a skill, get really good at it, at it, provide value, and focus on long-term legacy instead of just short-term money right now.
Yeah, I love that you talk about long-term legacy, because that was always my focus, is I wanted to build something with a solid foundation. I mean, even though I kind of won pretty quick, I mean, it was over a course of about 8 years, I got financially independent, but I mean, I kept working, of course. I never completely retired. I just kind of, settled down a little bit. But I look back and I go, man, it was always about that foundation. I wanted something solid that can generate a lot of passive income. So if I wanted to work, I can work. If I don't want to work, I don't have to work. I wanted that constant flow of income coming in, whether, again, whether I'm working or not. I mean, that was always my dream. And then, of course, for my kids, I wanted a foundation that was going to provide for them forever as well. If they, of course, I want them to work and have their own life and do whatever they want to do, but I wanted that financial security. I wanted to make sure that if God forbid something were to happen, my mom, she's been running my books for 20 years now, and my mom is an amazing human being. She's an amazing mother. I don't know what I'd do without her, because when you have somebody dealing with your money that loves you, like that you can trust, is like so valuable, right? Because you got so many, idiots out there that, they'll figure out a way to steal from you some way, somehow. And so I'm really, really blessed and lucky. But I remember she used to look at my accounts, and she used to say, like, why do you save so much? Like, why are you always investing so much? And why are you always putting so much money away? And I said, well, because I want to make sure that everything's always okay, right? I could buy Ferraris, I could go buy bigger homes, I could go buy, more flashier clothes. I said, but I'm interested in the long game. I'm interested in financial security for my family. Like, I want to make sure that we are solid. And I'm also wanting to make sure that if God forbid somebody gets sick, God forbid somebody needs something, I can cut a check, and it's interesting because maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, we had a family friend, he had a kind of a medical situation, no insurance. He was kind of on drugs and did some things, but it was a close family member, and he needed a check, man, a big check, and to like literally save his life. And I was able to cut a check for that to, and today his whole life has changed around. I mean, his health is, perfect today. He was only like, I think maybe 35 years old anyway. So he's a young person, and for him to be in that situation and for his whole life to change because, I mean, it wasn't a crazy, I mean, it was 50 grand, but to write one check for 50,000, most people couldn't do that. And for us to be able to do that, to take care of a family member in need, looking back, that's why I did it. That's why I got financially independent. That's why I invested my money wisely. That's why I made good financial choices. If you like this video and you want to watch another one, click right here. If you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.